software meeting room, it's a great advance forward from the old way, but its first implementation wasn't quite ideal. There were a bunch of cables to connect. The billing was sort of complicated. There were headaches. There were frustrations with it. These people look really upset, and it's kind of confusing for me because, hey, we're still better off than we were in the old days, but yes, there's still some problems to be solved. So let me explain what I mean by this whole software meeting room thing and why I was so excited about it. So this is a typical software meeting room kit. Let me move over here so you can see better. And the point of it is, if you like cloud software, use this to run your cloud software. Instead of having that old box from, some Norwegian company that doesn't exist anymore, that only talks to itself, whatever cloud service that you have on your phone or your desktop, you could have a similar cloud service running on an iMac Mini or an Intel NUC. And you get a peripheral camera, you get a speaker, you connect it all together, and you have software in the meeting room. Hey, this is great. Click to join, all those wonderful things we want. This is what it looks like when it's all set up. And I've been sent some of these kits to evaluate as part of my job as an analyst. It takes a little bit, you connect them all together, and this is what you have. And again, it is so much better than those old systems because, people can actually use these, but you can still see there's some things I would like to improve. First of all, I still see remote controls. I'm not a fan of remote controls. No one uses them. Everyone's afraid to touch them. Whatever it is the remote control is supposed to do is just not going to get done. If the remote control is meant to move the camera, no one's going to move the camera. Get rid of the remote controls. I prefer a touchpad. People aren't afraid of touchpads. Also, sometimes you need these little cheats to kind of help you. They're helpful, but they shouldn't be needed. I prefer to have it all digital. I want to have my instructions on the screen. I want to come into the room and the screen says, to make your call, click here. That's what I would want. That would be ideal. But still, I was happy with these because they were a big step forward from what we had before, despite the fact that we still have a bunch of cables, some remote controls. Oh, and one other thing that I really isn't ideal about this is we have parts here from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish vendors. And I'm sure they're all good companies and everything, but the problem is if something breaks, I don't know where to go to get support. If my call isn't coming in, well, is it a problem with the camera? Is it one of the cables? Is it the NUC? Is the speaker causing? I don't know who to call and say, hey, I need help. If all this came from one vendor, that'd be great. Hey, it isn't working. What do I do? You get some help.